Okay, it's Alec the Catholic, and I'm back again with another reaction video. This one was requested by one of my good friends here on YouTube, and it's Car Radio by 21 Pilots. He was saying that I would probably really like these guys. Their stuff tends to be more deep. I like deep. Let's get deep. Car Radio. I'm pretty sure I've never heard this song before. I've heard some 21 Pilot songs while in the car listening to the radio, um, but I'm not sure about this one in particular, so let's go. What's going on there, brother?
I ponder of something great. My lungs will fill and then deflate. They fill with fire, exhale desire. I know it's dire, my time today. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought. Cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
I will say just right off the bat that 21 Pilots, the way this guy, I don't know his name, but the way he raps, it doesn't sound like rap. It sounds more like spoken word poetry. It doesn't have any like accent, or he's not really singing either. He's really just kind of like talking at you in rhyme. It's totally like it throws me off every time I hear it, and I always feel like it's just short on the timing just a little bit, and the rhymes just aren't perfect, but at the same time it feels like it's deliberate. It feels like that's the intent. Like that's yes, this is how he wants it to sound, and it's kind of cool. It's very unique. They have such a unique sound, and I think it's just two guys. I think it's just this guy and his like producer drummer friend. So, but so far, I like it. I like the fact that he's talking about having to sit in silence. It sucks someone stole his car radio, so let's see what else he has to say.
Sometimes quiet is violent. I find it hard to hide it. My pride is no longer inside. It's on my sleeve, my skin will scream, reminding me of who I killed inside my dream. I hate this car that I'm driving. There's no hiding for me. I'm forced to deal with what I feel. There is no distraction.
You killed somebody in a dream? Not in real life, right, brother? I hope.
To mask what is real. I could pull the steering wheel. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought. Cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
Alright, the visuals are really distracting me here because I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Are you about to shave your head? Ah, just because someone stole your radio? Come on. It's actually disturbing to watch. It's not like it's a big deal. He's just cutting hair, but like he looks so like out of it, sitting huddled in a corner all by himself. Like, there are people that go through this, man. Like cutting your hair. My wife told me that when you cut your hair or you feel like you want to shave your head, sometimes it's a sign of depression. Like that you're going through so much stuff that it just you feel like you got to change something on your body to, and hopefully that'll change the way your mind works, that kind of thing. It's just I don't know if that's really what's behind it, but it's not a good sign when someone just up and shaves their head. It's really not.
I ponder of something terrifying, cause this time there's no sound to hide behind. I find over the course of our human existence, one thing consists of consistence, and it's that we're all battling fear. Oh dear, I don't know if we know why we're here. Oh my, too deep, please stop thinking. I liked it better when my car had sound.
Wow. Okay, so what he was just saying there, like, there's no sound. He was hiding behind the sound. Okay, now I'm starting to see kind of what this song is about. And yeah, this is deep. I really like this. It's so true that, like, we're constantly bombarded with information, with sound, with noise. Like our world consists almost entirely of noise nowadays. Your phone, the internet, your computer, TV, driving in the radio, like driving in the car, you're listening to the radio. Like going to work, it's probably you're going to be using some kind of device. Going to the movies, like everything that we do, every restaurant we go to, every daycare center, it's like there's a TV, there's something going on, there's something playing, some kind of media being played all the time. And it sounds like what he's going through is that he's like he's being forced to sit in silence now because he doesn't have a radio, and all of a sudden he's starting to think deep thoughts and get really introspective. And I think that that's so true. I think that if and when we ever, like, that's kind of what prayer and meditation's all about, is just like taking a moment to cut all this stuff off and just sit in silence and just be there for a little bit, breathe. Kind of like Rich Brian in The Sailor. Huh? I remember, right? But I really love this. I love this concept. I love this that he's going into this topic. Like it's fascinating.
There are things we can do, but from the things that work there are only two, and from the two that we choose to do, peace will win and fear will lose. It is faith and there's sleep. We need to pick one, please, because faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think, and for us to think is to be alive. And I will try with every rhyme to come across like I am dying to let you know you need to try to think. I have
That's I don't know if he caught that. That was really complicated. Very complicated. Let me go back here a little bit.
awakes for us to think, and for
Okay.
we need to pick one, please, because faith is to be awake, and to be
Faith is to be awake,
awake is for us to think, and for us to
and to be awake is for us to think. For us to think.
think is to be alive. And I will try with every rhyme to come across like I am dying to let you know you need to try to think.
He wants you to try and think. And in a sense, he's saying they're all the same thing. To be alive, to think, to have faith are all the same thing. And he is dying to let you know you need to think. Or that you should think. Have faith. Is another, because they're all the same thing. He wants you to think about having faith. And that's such a freaking deep thing to say. I mean, it's that's extremely true too. Like, if you stop for a moment to think about things, it implies that you have to have faith that the world around you is not going to suddenly implode, that you're not going to lose your life, that you're not in any danger, that you're not going to lose your job, that your entire life is not going to fall apart if you just stop for a moment and think and be in silence. That takes faith, trust. You gotta believe the world's gonna keep going, that there's something out there that's gonna keep spinning the world, even if you stop being God for a moment and just sit and think. That's, I don't know. Maybe I'm pulling something out of it I shouldn't be, but this is deep. I like this. This is the kind of stuff I'm into. Thank you, Jonathan.
I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought, cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
Oh, bro, he's gonna go rob a bank now. I doubt it. I was just kidding. These guys are nice. They would never. That's friggin' trippy. Look at that crowd of people just staring at him. I mean, the fans must be so cool to do this. Like that's a lot of extras. If not, like this is so cool. It's creepy, but it's cool. Did you see the blurred faces there? There was a couple of blurred faces. Like there, like these like two girls. That guy right there, guy on the right too. People they didn't get the release forms signed for, probably, or they found out they weren't 18. One of the two. I found Waldo. Did you see Waldo? There's Waldo. I found Waldo. I can't believe that there's a guy there who's dressed like Waldo from Where's Waldo. That's so freaking funny. The thing's crazy. I spotted him like the first thing. I've never seen this before. I saw him and I was like, wait, that was Waldo. Oh my gosh. What other crazy stuff? I'm expecting to see him now a bunch of other places. And this song's picking up too. They're gonna start moshing, right? Bro, that looks insane. I saw Waldo again. There he is again, right there, on the little, on the left. Yeah, that was.
And now I just stand in silence. And now I just stand in silence. And now I just stand. And now I just stand in silence. And now I just stand in silence. And now I just stand in silence. And now I just stand.
Dang. That was crazy. It would have been so cool to be in that crowd dressed as Waldo from Where's Waldo. Oh man. Let's see what else he does, because there's something I want to say about like the fact that he was screaming about sitting in silence. But let's see what else happens. Now everybody's gone. They're all gone. What the heck? It's just a dream, bro.
I ponder of something great. My lungs will fill and then deflate. They fill with fire, exhale desire. I know it's dire, my time today. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought. Cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
He fell into something safe. He's safe. He does all his own stunts. That's cool. Is there anything else here? No, just something's gonna trigger an epileptic episode. All right, cool. So, car radio. That was rad. That was a trip. That was a roller coaster. That was an adventure. Thank you, Jonathan. That was cool. The fact that he was screaming about sitting in silence, that reminded me of something that I'm really happy it reminded me of this, actually. There was a time when I was in college, which is a couple years ago. I'm not that old, but a couple years ago, I couldn't say a couple. It's almost been almost 10 years now. Shoot. I got a wife and kids, right? So several years ago, when I was in college, I had come back from college, and I was gonna go meet a friend of mine at the movie theater. We were gonna go watch a movie, just and hang out and stuff. And I was driving on the freeway on my way over there and I was listening to the radio. I remember specifically listening to the rock station that was local out here at the time. It was the Edge. It's no longer around. If anyone from my hometown hears me, they'll hopefully remember. But I was listening to that radio station, and I remember just having this urge to turn off the radio. It was a strange thing. This is something that, like, to this day, I don't think I've ever done anything like this before, or since. And maybe it's something I should do more often. But um, I got the urge to turn off the radio, and I did. And it was late afternoon. The sun was going down. Driving through the desert on the freeway, it was just a smooth, slow moving freeway. There was nothing really going on around me. I was alone in the car, and turning off the radio, all of a sudden I was just engulfed in the silence. I mean, yeah, I could hear the car going, like just white noise, general sound around me outside the car, but inside it was, muffled noise, and it was quiet, and I could hear, just like the tires on the freeway. And I distinctly remember the feeling of warmth, of comfort, of like an overwhelming peace. And the next thing I remember is how loud the silence was. Like, and I that's the silence was so loud, and it was so powerful, such a powerful moment of just being present there in the car, just driving. This didn't last long. It was like maybe 45 seconds of just total peace and contentment. And it was beautiful. And the sun was setting, and it was warm, and it was quiet, and it was just me. I was just driving, and I had my whole life ahead of me. And I had been really stressed up until that point, up until the break that I was on coming back home from college. Um, I had actually gone to college without the financial means to really support myself. I had tried to find a job, and I couldn't get one. Um, a couple weeks into being in college, my wife, now girlfriend at the time, had to actually buy me groceries because I was too ashamed to ask my parents for money. And my dad was out of work at the time, and so I knew that they didn't have much money. And here I am going to college. I'm paying the whole thing with student loans, and which I'm still paying off, by the way. And then I had no money, and I went hungry for a day or two, just borrowing, like mooching off friends, roommates. But my wife ended up buying me groceries, um, and I was able to get to and from school in this car, and that's all the money I had was for gas, basically. And it was running out fast, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. And so coming home on this little break, and just borrowing my parents' other car and driving to the movies, um, was like a little moment of it was like a reprieve for me. It was just a time to stop worrying about the future. Where am I going to get my next meal? How am I going to make all this work? How am I going to pay for this college? And in that moment, it was just like all of that just washed away. Everything just went away. And I had just this overwhelming sense that I was there, and it was me, and it was okay. and I felt like it was like God was kind of like hugging me, like an embrace. It was very warm, very comforting, very quiet. Now I'm getting quiet. Why am I getting quiet? Okay. But it was powerful. That was a powerful moment. I'm glad that it's so funny. His car radio. Like I turned off my car radio. That's crazy. It feels like he may have had the same experience. I wonder if he had, if that's why, you know. Maybe somebody did actually steal his car radio and he literally couldn't. He had to sit in silence and drive, and that maybe triggered all this stuff. I don't know. But that's cool. This is very cool. I'm glad that I'm really glad I got to experience this song and share just like a little moment that I had. And I hope everyone in their lifetime gets a chance to experience that. If you haven't yet, I encourage you to try to just sit in silence. It can be scary, but have faith. I don't think the world's going to end if you just take a few minutes to be by yourself, alone, silent, and just be. Just be. Maybe you'll find God there. He found me there. So, anyway, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Uh, Feel free to suggest another video. I would love to. I'd love to do another one, another 21 Pilots song, and I think Jonathan made another recommendation, so I'm definitely going to check that out. Thank you again. I'll catch you next time. Peace.